Absinthe is the aphrodisiac of the self. The green fairy who lives in the absinthe. Once you saw.
This is my house, please come on in. It's time to cleanse yourself of sin. Get thee down upon your knees, 'cause non-belief is a disease, amen. Come all ye faithful, heed the bells. This trip could save you all from hell. Burning crosses through the night, come and join the holy fight, amen. So you hear your shepherd calling, my wrath won't be denied. Don't stand there looking sheepish, come and join the flock inside. Who says these people are insane? Its only brainwash quite humane. 1,000 channels, take your pick, another mystic, lunatic, amen. Amen, brother. Think you can challenge me? Come on. I've seen them all off one by one. Oh, Galileo's long forgot, though he was right and we were not, amen.
This is 100% the Word of God. You can trust it 100%.
Deliver you from evil. That never was the plan. To those who fall for this one, deserve the lousy hand. Sleight of hand has kept the devil in command. Beyond those gates up in the sky, sign up now for apple pie, amen.
Follow me. Follow me. Follow me anywhere. Follow me.
Belladonna and Aconite, Incubus Succubus on Widdershins Radio. Radio for your spiritual side. A twisted, oh so twisted approach to the left-hand path. And kids, it's such a special night. This is our first in-the-studio guest. That means no Skype echo, because we're not wearing headphones, like our guest just mentioned. No dropouts, no lags. I mean, we've never had a Skype guest where there wasn't a dropout in the middle of something important they were saying. So I'm hoping that tonight we're not going to drop out unless, a ghetto bird goes by when our guest is talking. We're going to hear everything. It's crystal clear audio. Tonight, Patti Negri. God, I already screwed it.
Negri.
Is it Negri? Oh, I did say it right. Okay. I always try and get that right because I don't want to screw up somebody's name. Like, we had somebody on the show one time, and I asked how to say his name, and my friend Candelo's still mispronouncing his name to this day.
What guy?
Saint-Moïse.
Oh.
Saint-Moïse.
I thought he said it right.
No, he says Moisey. Moisey. No, I ask how to pronounce people's names. But we got Patti Negri, author of this little book here. I love this cover. I'm really into purple. As a child of Hecate, and that being one of her main colors, purple. But old world magic for the modern world. A bestseller on Amazon all of a sudden in the last 4 days. We booked her, I don't know if that's the word, 5 days ago? It was right before the book launch.
Yep.
And the book launch came out, and now she's a best-selling author and is here at the Widdershins Towers with us, with the clown to the right of me, Marna.
Joker to the left.
And our guest to the left of me, Patti Negri. How the hell are you? Merry meet. Welcome.
Merry meet.
Negri.
Close enough. Now you'll do it forever and ever and ever wrong. I am great. This is so gorgeous here. For those of you who can't see us in your mind. We are sitting high atop Hollywood with the most gorgeous view on this most beautiful patio with the most beautiful people. And thank you. I am honored to be here.
Well, thank you.
To have you.
More beautiful people. And our beautiful dog.
Yes.
Beautiful cat will probably be here soon. I don't know where he is. He's lagging. And, chat room's hopping. Let's see. Oh, hello, Beardy. I don't know you. I see Beardy and a bunch of the regular cast of characters. EP. I think EP is one of the regular cast characters. Hello in the chat room there. Just a couple people in there. So Patti, those of you who've been listening to the show, our regular listeners, vampires and werewolves have come up often the last couple episodes, and Patti just came back from hanging with the vampires in Vegas. We were watching that on your Facebook. Vampire Con, and they were doing magic and stuff, and I think thelemic stuff, I believe you mentioned.
A little bit of everything.
I would expect them to be kind of ceremonial type. Flash. Gunpowder and whatnot. So how was that?
It was fabulous.
And you had your book there, or was that the release party?
That was part of the release party. I did 2 seances in the chapel. I actually met, this is the Sabertooth clan. They're very lovely vampires, led by Father Sebastian, who's been their leader for 20 years. And before, I met him on the episode of Ghost Adventures, not this Halloween special, but last year. And when he offered to fang me, who's really going to be turned down being fanged by this lovely man, Father Sebastian? But before I'm fanged, I got to know, because my idea of vampires wasn't that positive, and I'm real careful how I work. But I read his books and his Black Veils, and I'm like, oh yeah, you believe pretty much everything I do. It's magic. It's very similar to witchcraft in pretty much every way, except they have lovely fangs and they dress up fabulously. We had a weekend of workshops and classes. They did Enochian. They did all sorts of magic and classes and things. So I did it last year too when I was really new. I was a baby Sabertooth. A baby bat, as they call it. And I did the seance there, and I'm like, these are the most sweet, wonderful, amazing, spiritual, magical, left-hand, crazy, sexy people. So this year I'm old family member now, so I was there, I taught, I did seances. People came from all over the world. And he has these parties and balls all over the world. Paris, Austria, New York, New Orleans, Salem, Dallas, LA. Yeah, I'll get you guys one. I'm going to get you guys Fang.
Okay.
I was going to ask you about the
Yes.
fangs. Do
I
they
need some tooth work.
come off and on?
You can
You
have fangs
clip
and
'em
put them on.
Clip them, each one tooth. Clip on, clip on. They're made. He's like a
on.
dentist.
Wow.
He shapes them
So
to
they're
your
made
tooth.
right for
it's
your
right
teeth.
for your teeth,
Uh-huh.
and they don't need glue or anything. They stay on,
Wow.
and then you take them off.
I want a pair.
Okay.
You know, I've often thought in recent years, you know, with all the God, what was the first vampire? Oh, well, I guess it was back in our hometown.
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys. Oh my
man.
God, classic.
Santa Cruz. That was probably the heyday or the tip of the iceberg of the popularization of vampires,
The
as I
hipster
recall,
vampires,
the hipster
yeah.
vampires. There's been so much of it, and it's like, you know, I look at that, it's like, okay, I was kind of joking on the show saying I don't believe in vampires. My best friend in high school, who I taught witchcraft, she was a vampire and actually went around biting people, and it wasn't okay. But she, you know, really believed in her thing, and, you know, I was kind of joking about that, but I look back at that, it's like, you know, the craft, practical magic, these kind of things, like, those were ours. You know, and witchcraft needed that, and it continues going. I think we're in our second or third Hollywood heyday of witchery now, and Charmed has a reboot, and now there's the discovery of witches, and it's all happening there. So I've kind of thought about that with the vampires, and I guess the werewolves have got a little bit, at least with Twilight. Is that the one?
Yes.
Oh, God, I'm surprised I pulled that out of my ass. You know, so they got a little bit of the popularity in there. But, you know, I guess so the werewolves are next. They need some stuff to popular. And then what? Who's next? Fucking elves, fairies?
Mummies.
Who's that? Mummies? Are there mummies out there?
They're hard to get sexy. I don't know.
Hard to get sexy mummies. You know, something sheer. I say, yeah.
In my rap.
But I've often thought about that. It's like I recall back in the early 90s, there was this, well, we're seeing them again, actually. The militias. The militias are back, and they're all Trump supporters. And the most recent ones, they just arrested there were some militias that are kidnapping people at the border, migrants at the border. And there's this militia group that they just came out today. They were training to assassinate Obama and Hillary back in the day. I hadn't heard a lot about militias in a long time. How the hell am I on militias? What I was talking about? Oh, that's what it was. No, it was okay. It was I think he was Tom Valentine, and he was a shortwave radio host that all these militia people followed, and he had this conspiracy theory back in the day, and it was called the Conspiracy of Gaia. And this one was fascinating because there's a mid to early 90s. Gaia, as all of you that know who Gaia is, you know, an ancient Greek goddess of earth and dirt and plants and shit. She was, of course, represented by the silicone chip, the microchip as we now know it. But in the 90s, they didn't really have cool words for that. And the Conspiracy of Gaia was all supposed to come about in 2000, the millennium, right? And he had this whole thing, and in his conspiracy theory, and the best conspiracy theories always have little pieces of facts to make them stand. And in his conspiracy theory, witches had infiltrated Hollywood and the school system, and this is how we were going to take over the world. And we infiltrated Hollywood to make shows and movies that showed images of witches in a good light. And then schools. This was the fascinating part. It has nothing to do with the Hollywood part. We had infiltrated the schools to teach children that we are all equal to a bug, a rock, or a plant. That's pretty pagan. I'll give you that. But in his reasoning, the reason that we were doing that, and I could see that, you know, I had a child of school age by about 2000, so I saw that when his conspiracy theory was really being hatched. And I could see that. We were teaching that in the schools. The words Mother Nature had become commonly used again and taught in schools, and hadn't been back when I was a kid, unless you were watching the Parquet commercials back in the day. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature, but we didn't tend to hear about her much. But yeah, she had made a comeback, and she had made a comeback because we were teaching it in the schools. But here's where the conspiracy theory kind of fell apart. Was the whole reason for that is, in his theory, it is okay to crush a bug, a rock, or a plant under your boot. And the conspiracy theory was that the pagans were organizing to commit mass genocide on the Christians. And this, he was teaching this to the militia people with all their guns and shit. Luckily, the shortwave militia movement went away, and I think Clinton pretty much crushed the majority of them. But now they're back, so who knows what they're teaching now. But those things happen. I don't know if you're going to call it an infiltration, but yeah, stuff started happening in Hollywood that put a positive light on witches. But I never called it a conspiracy. The decades upon decades before that, all the way back to the Wizard of Oz and shit, that gave a bad image of witches. The green stuff and all of that. That was never a conspiracy. I never called that. But I saw points to what he was saying, but never, I never wanted to commit mass genocide on the Christians. I just wanted them to leave me the fuck alone, really. And now in, the days of Christian rule here in America, I want that even more. But I digressed all over the place. Patti. now Patti is...
wondering, where you be going
Patti's one of our neighbors, Hollywood Witch, all over the map. I didn't even know how far all over the map. She was just telling us that she was on Gordon Ramsay, MasterChef, not Top Chef.
And
America's Got Talent. I don't know how we missed that. It must have been in the 1 year that we didn't watch America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
I think we only missed a season. I don't know what
I'm
we
not
were
even sure.
doing. I didn't even know that we missed a
But
season.
I know we would have remembered you.
But once we got back here to Hollywood, we were there, up in it all the time. We were up in the VIP sections where the cameras don't roam. I always loved that part. But I guess not this next season. Bottom fell out of that one. We got a whole new crew there. But Patti's been on America's Got Talent. So you were doing... Patti, I put this in the liner notes, but she's a psychic. She's a medium, psychic to the stars, medium to the stars, that kind of thing here, as you do in Hollywood.
And
so I wasn't clear. You were reading somebody's dog on America's Got Talent?
Howie Mandel's dog.
Howie Mandel's dog.
Howie
That's
Mandel's
what it was.
dog.
I didn't even know he was a dog person.
He's a dog person.
I knew about Simon.
And they kept kind of VIPing me through a lot of stuff of the things. But you go to the cattle call with 1,000 people, but I really kind of got VIP'd through a lot of it. But you had the number. But I knew it was really designed to be a clusterfuck, because that's what I know that. Even on MasterChef, it was designed for that, because if they're going to put somebody claiming to be a witch, claiming to be this stuff, which I love, actually. I love to put something into it. So, yeah, I was supposed to read his dog, and I just knew that, because they don't gong you, but they have the big X's, and they go, well, you're at the thing at the Dolby, and I have my little baskets of my magical tools. And they go, okay, when you get on stage, make sure you get Howie Mandel on stage with you. I'm like, okay. And they go, and make sure you get down to the dog's level. You bring the dog up, okay? Make sure you get Howie Mandel down on the floor with you and the dog's level. I'm like, okay.
You want to get Howie down on the floor? Oh, I see a problem already.
Yeah, and
germs,
I had been, germs.
Sure.
I had been auditioning. They kept showing me pictures of his little Chihuahua kind of a dog. I don't know what kind of dog. So all of a sudden, now it's time for the show, and they hand me this big old bulldog, and they're going, this is the dog. It was his kid's dog, really, his son's dog, which they knew was actually Friendly, and they knew would totally attack Howie. So we get out, and I follow directions well. I get Howie up. I get him on stage with me. I'm explaining who I do and what I am. And we get down on the ground, and then this dog completely attacks him. Here are the two of us on the floor. I am cracking up so hard I'm almost peeing my pants. The dog is all over Howie. He loves him. I'm trying to pull the dog off Howie. I'm trying to grab Howie, but you can't touch Howie Mandel. He's got that germ thing.
The germ thing.
I'm screaming like that. I'm telling him that it was a cockfight because I was trying to explain the energy, how to have the dog not do that, like dog whisperer thing. and it was really fun. it was like the audience completely turned against me. It went from cheers to boos.
Oh,
it was
no.
great.
Oh.
It was hysterical, as it well should have.
So, have you done the pet psychic thing before that?
No, and I told him that wasn't my strong suit. But I think of everybody. I mean, when you've been in this town long enough, and I've been in this town my whole life, and I've been in this industry since I was 16, they could have brought in way better pet psychics than I, but I know how to do camera, play the camera. It's all legit. That's why I do so much reality TV. I can hit a mark, I can talk in sound bites, I can do all that stuff, and yet be legit.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
I only recall like one pet psychic. I think it was like Geraldo or something like that. And she told this woman that her cat really liked to sit in the window and look out at the garden. And the woman said, I live on the 20th floor. I guess Central Park's down there. I'm in New York. There's no fucking garden. It's like, I'm sorry. That was a guess.
Yeah.
If you've ever had a cat, your cat likes to sit in the window and look over the garden. You don't need to be a psychic for that. And she got shot down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I've done a couple of good ones. I mean, people like, why does my cat pee on the floor? And they've come up with really good psychological. I'm not that person. I can't tell you why the cat pees on the floor. But I've known a few that are really good. But
I usually can tell. It means I haven't cleaned the cat box.
there you go.
that
So
week,
I go logical.
It's like cats are vengeful that way. It's like, oh, you're the one that cleaned up. I'm gonna piss on the floor. Dogs never turn on you like that. Huh?
Dogs are beautiful.
My dog over here. All right, so you did the pet psychic thing on that. Now, what about Ghost Adventures? Seems like you've done a whole lot.
A whole lot of Ghost
regular,
Adventures. Yeah, I've been semi-regular as far as being a girl on the show. Yeah. Several times a season. I do their last two big Halloween specials. Last year was really hard. 4-hour live special. 4-hour live, a show that it's really hard to be live because if you're in there and you're in the real moment and you're in an extremely haunted place and they go break for commercial, ghosts and spirits don't know how to break for commercial. They don't break for commercial. It's like the cameras all leave to go over to here, and it's like, whoa!
They don't have a way of showing what they missed during the commercial
No,
while you were away.
They don't. It's all live. It
Patty's
was
hair
really
caught
hard.
on fire.
Yeah, oh, yes. That's
Some dude's shirt caught on fire.
Yeah, exactly. That was at Marilyn's house. But no, it was a part. But I do. I just shot an episode that hasn't aired yet. That should air really soon. But he brings me in. I mean, they're paranormal investigators. I remember for years watching the show. They're in their 10th year, 18th season, #1 show on Travel Channel. And I remember when I first used to watch it, I'd watch who's these like macho guys in tight t-shirts who come on ghosts, and I'm like, oh, and then run like little girls on pin drops. Who are these guys? But once I started working with them, I gained total respect. They're completely legit. They completely committed. Why it seems so over the top sometimes is because they're 120% committed. They will hide me in the trunk of a car practically to not know what's going on. I will be given an address, show up here, you walk in and you tell us what happened. I mean, my skills are tested constantly, but they're just trying to prove what they're getting on their equipment. Yeah. And it's cool having their state-of-the-art ghosty stuff when I'll say, I'm hearing whatever and it looks like this, and then in another room that I'm not even privy to, they're showing that exact thing on some new high-tech equipment. So, it's really, I love when I get to work with the boys.
So you use all the gadgets, the EVP stuff.
Yeah, they have all that stuff. I'm sitting there with a set of dowsing rods and a chime.
Dowsing rods? That's old school.
Yeah, I'm old school.
Yeah, I've seen some of that. God, there was just a video floating around. This guy, some skeptic on the internet, bought one of those demons in a box off of eBay, and it was pretty epic. You could tell the guy had no special effects, skills at all. And he bought this demon, and he put the, I think he did the EVP thing last, but there's a frequency monitor. God, my radio skills are failing, but there's this frequency monitor. It would beep whenever he put it next to the box. He put it on all sides of the box. It was beeping. It was getting this EVP reading off of the box, and then this guy, just this total muggle, he pops open the box, and the machine stops beeping. And it's right next to the box. As soon as he pops open the box, the thing stops beeping. All these other things start going on. Stuff starts falling off the wall. And this guy, he was totally a skeptic. He was totally talking all kind of smack before that. He goes, I'm out of here, man. I'm going to go spend the night at my brother's. I'm going to come back tomorrow, man. He was out of there. He's a big, tough guy.
Yeah.
Ran with his tail between his legs. Like, you know what? Right, I've been a witch my whole life. Officially since I was 13 years old. Probably did my first exorcism at 14 years old. Things that go bump in the night, that's my life. I wouldn't do that. I would not fucking buy that box. I would not open that box. I'd toss that goddamn box in the ocean or something, man.
Unless you're on a TV show that had to do it. That's what...
Yeah, sure. If I'm getting paid, I'll do it. Sure.
This TV show actually was about... He has what is considered one of the world's most haunted objects. It's a Dybbuk box, a Jewish wine cabinet, which is supposed to have an evil Jewish spirit in it, back from the Holocaust, and it's in Zach Bagans, who's got a haunted museum in Vegas. He was supposed to open it, but he couldn't. There was so much weird shit flying around. It was crazy. And he didn't. Post Malone, the musician, touched it about a month or two before. His whole life went to hell. And and all of a sudden news was hitting, Post Malone touched the Dybbuk box, he's cursed, the plane almost crashed, car accident, this, that, and the other thing. So we didn't even open it on our 4-hour special. He was afraid.
For some reason, that song or that story just reminded me of, the story of John DeLorean.
No, I know who he is.
Yeah, the DeLorean, and he got, I think he just finally got out of prison for using his cars to transport cocaine to the United States. There's this old legend in witchcraft circles, Irish witchcraft circles. And we know he had a factory in Ireland, and this is where he was shipping cocaine from in the tires of the DeLoreans. Legend has it, witch legend has it, that when building his car plant in Ireland, there was this ancient hawthorn tree on the site where he wanted a parking lot. And the hawthorn tree, in case you don't know, in the Celtic, it's the most sacred tree. It's the guardian between this world and the fairy realm. Keeps them out, keeps us out. The guardian between. You never even prune a hawthorn tree. You never take anything on. It's the worst sin in the world in the Celtics is to even damage a hawthorn tree. Legend has it that the workers refused to destroy this tree. Because of even the Catholics within them retain a lot of their pagan ways. They're just not going to do it. I mean, that's still the sacred tree for St. Bridget's Day. Mm-hmm. They still make the pilgrimage up to the Hill of Tara, hang a piece of cloth from their clothes on a hawthorn tree. It's still a sacred tree. So the workers wouldn't do that. The legend has it that John DeLorean jumped on the bulldozer himself and mowed down this ancient hawthorn tree. And within a year, the rest of the John DeLorean story that we know transpires. He's arrested for, I think it was a couple decades. He sat in prison for shipping cocaine back to the United States in the tires of his car. So that's the fairies, the legends of pissing off the fairies.
Don't mess up fairies.
They will fuck you up so bad. So I don't even know if it's true, but that was the legend of John DeLorean. It reminded me of the one you were talking about there.
Talk about DeLoreans?
I was talking about DeLorean. She's talking about this, who was the musician you were talking about?
Marilyn Manson? No, Kai Blackwood?
Kai Black.
Yeah.
I think that was it. Yeah,
that's the Sell Your Soul to Satan one.
Marilyn
Manson.
Well, that one you told us off the air. So wait, no. So so tell us that story. Because we were off the air when you told us that. I'm pretty sure.
The Marilyn Manson house one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a fascinating story.
Yeah, that's right.
Apparently, Marilyn Manson used to live right up the street from us, and Patty's going to show us his house someday.
Yes.
Just so we know.
We were almost there. You were houses away from it.
On the walk.
Yes. Yeah. It was our little neighborhood is an old neighborhood built in the 1920s, and this house was built by Charlie Chaplin for his mistress, Mary Astor, who was a movie star too of the day in the 1920s. It was a big party house. They had crazy parties there. And then the Rolling Stones, years later, manager bought it, so the Rolling Stones lived there, Mamas and Papas, Graham Parson, and then the person who invented the real-life sex doll, and then most recently, Marilyn Manson. So the house attracts creative, chaotic, a little bit dark, creative people. Built for parties. I mean, it's built almost like, not Masonic Lodge, but it's like, oh, that's sacred geometry. There's a compass as you walk in the door, 4 levels of spiral staircase, rose stained glass, but it's a magical house. But I was doing a seance there as part of a documentary, so we had 4 cameras going. Young people at the table, which are always really powerful. I mean, energetic, the life force, that things happen. And this one kid, maybe he was just excited because he was on TV or whatever. He was kind of being a smart ass. And I'm like, you got to be respectful. You believe, don't believe, be respectful. It's real it's real. So you got to be, but he wasn't. So first cool things were happening. Like the French doors flew open and this producer side of me is going, wow, it's like special effects, but I wouldn't allow special effects. That happened again. And then on the floor, there were speakers, like record speakers, and they came on, like white noise. They weren't even plugged in. Glasses later were flying out the thing. But this kid was getting we're using a Ouija board, we're using all sorts of stuff. We were getting this major information. All of a sudden, the kid said something really stupid, and my cameraman facing him burst into flames. Literally, like, spinal tap, spontaneous combustion, just boom, a V up his back like angel wings of fire. Everybody's screaming. 2 of the cameras caught it, followed it. 2 of the cameras hit the floor, hit the ceiling, including his, of course.
Right.
I guess you test the metal of a cameraman by the room bursting into flames. Everybody's screaming. I become the medic that I also am. I was like, drop and roll. I start calling in my guardians how I work. I shut it down, shut down the veil, and we are done. But the cameraman who caught on fire, he was really intrigued by it. His shirt burnt off him like it was in synthetic. It was a cotton. It should not have burnt like a polyester, but it did. But he's like, I have a sweater. He put it on. He goes, no, I really talked to the ghost. I'm like, you guys, we're not even going to get rid of you like I normally would. The asshole kid, got really, really well behaved. He like sit there like a school boy, church boy. And got really well behaved. We finished the seance, though poor thing, they tried to push him off the thing. But the coolest thing about it, he got inspired by it. He actually has written a script now with Stephen Norrington, the guy from the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the Blade series. He's gone way left of center of Hollywood. They haven't done it yet. But about like a psychic, a TV psychic who opens up a portal. But the coolest thing is that he showed me 3 weeks later where the blistering is. I've got to go to the doctor. And I swear to God, it looked like he had got a tattoo of a dragon. The open mouth, the teeth, the winged thing into the shape of a serpent. That's exactly who I called in when he got attacked, my dragons. The crossroads hit. So now he's got a little tramp stamp on the small of his back of a dragon. He was so inspired, that's what he put on the cover of the script. So that was wild.
And this was at Marilyn Manson's house?
Yes. Yes. And now it's for sale if anybody wants to buy it. It's a total fixer-upper. It's only $3.something million.
That's cheap in this neighborhood.
It's cheap. I know, it is.
What's wrong with it? That it's
it's just because nobody's really done like the plumbing and stuff probably since the 20s. It's beautiful. It's a 4-level spiral staircase. Again, leaded glass. A beautiful pool, beautiful koi pond. 4 levels of old Hollywood gorgeousness. But probably all the expensive stuff you don't see needs redoing.
Yeah. Do you know what in particular scared him off?
I think there was a party or something and a girlfriend got in an accident, or I don't remember the whole thing. But he used to record in this dirt basement thing because it's always the dirt basement. I go in enough haunted houses. I was actually just last night at David Oman House. He's the guy who did the movie about the Sharon Tate murders. He built his house by Sharon Tate, and it's the dirt basement. I've shot 2 shows at the Black Dahlia murder house. It's always the dirt basement. I don't know, but yeah, but it scared Marilyn. He did a lot of recording there, but he left, went to the Valley.
How long ago
To
was
the
that?
Valley.
A couple years ago.
Marilyn Manson went to the Valley. I didn't
Just
know that.
missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of the time you just see him out because I go up to the lake every day, so I would see him every day. And just when he's just looking like a skinny regular guy in a t-shirt and shorts, you wouldn't go, "Oh my gosh, that's Marilyn Manson." And
Kind
you
of
look
wait
closely.
before he started the lawnmower.
Yeah, exactly.
I always remember
Howdy,
after.
have some lemonade.
I always remember after like the Columbine thing. It's like He was the most reasonable person. I think it was Bowling for
Bowling
Columbine.
for
It was
Columbine,
like he was the most
yeah.
reasonable person interviewed in that movie. It's like they said, "What would you tell the kids?" I wouldn't tell them anything. I would ask them.
I would listen.
I would listen. Yeah, it's like, wow, that's unheard of. Look at this dog. You guys can't see this dog. It's radio, but you've seen it on the video cast. And occasionally, we've like gone Facebook Live while we're doing the show and stuff. As he's always a show stealer. So I was just reading, flicking through your book, The Magic of Sound caught my eye. Sound magic. I have a whole lot of research into sound and frequency.
Have you? Oh, cool. Again,
and
this
brainwave
is simplified baby work.
generators, and yeah. But I've seen that. I've seen there.
Baby.
So some of the stuff that I found in working with like brainwave tones, binaural tones to alter your brainwaves is old school. It's actually stuff that shamanistic cultures have been doing forever with sounds, with drums, and we just didn't recognize it. What I've often said, like with like groups doing rituals, like we used to have this large group in Santa Cruz, and it'd always like it'd be ritual time. In the middle of the ritual, it'd say, "Okay, everybody, now's the time to dance with the dead," and everybody would go. It was like
Midnight Express.
Midnight Express, dancing around the poles. It was just no energy to it, and I always said, "It's like, look, people, it's psychological. Rhythm affects the body. If you expose the body to a rhythm, the body eventually vibrates with the rhythm.
Yes.
You just keep a drum beat going and wait till you see everybody's feet tapping, and then now everybody dance. Now's the time to dance with the dead. Rhythm, frequency. These are. It's like we have modern tools that we can use to do way greater things with these ideas than our ancestors. But the ideas are ancient, and I find that with magic, it's like most of this shit's ancient, and science just slowly figures it out.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know,
And I love that science is catching up with spirituality.
they're
I
so
love
slow.
It. I know. That is true. Because they have to prove everything. We just know it.
Yeah. Well, I teach many classes, and I teach from a scientific standpoint, and I always say it's like magic is a science, but science is the tracking of variables through critical note taking. The variables that we're working with in magic are untrackable at times. There's like so many forces, planets and solar systems we don't even know of, and their vibrations are flowing into our sphere right now, going to affect what we're doing. It's like we can do everything we do. We track the planets we know of, track the stars that we know of, track all of the variables that we know of, because there's a bunch out there we're never going to know.
Right.
And they are going to affect our sphere. They are going to affect our magic. It is a science, but there's too many variables, basically, is my theory on that one.
I wanted to ask you about a part
that
that intrigued me. I saw there was a section in there called spectrophilia.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah,
Sex with ghosts?
Sex with ghosts, spectrophilia. I am considered an international expert on it. I think when the field is like two people, you become an expert really easy. Yeah, and it started not because I had sex with ghosts, but I had clients who did. And just like human sex, it's good and it's bad. Just like human sex, it's consensual and non-consensual. And I had a client who was the bad side of it, so I started to really look into it. And again, my gift is being able to see energy, and I've been able to see spirits and work with them since I was a kid. And then, so I just started learning about it. I did a film, another Travel Channel movie called Ghostly Lovers, which was amazingly all the positive sides of it. Everybody, the bad stuff, as in everything in life, gets all the press. Ooh, incubus and succubus and bad. But you know, if you believe in ghosts, if you don't believe in ghosts, you're not going to believe in ghosts. But if you believe in spirits, and you think grandma could come to the step of your bed and say hi, why would now sex not be a part of it? Sex is such an integral part of the human experience. And now if you move on to the other side, now it's off limits. You don't touch. One of my best friends in the world, her husband died really young. He had a cancer. He came to her and it was really magical. It was like, started out the foreplay, all the usual, it's like, what? You know, they had this little spooning thing they did into whatever. And it was beautiful. But again, our society, not that we're weird about spirits and ghosts anyways, but we're even weirder about sex in our Western culture. So put the two together, it's like, talk about forbidden. But it's good to talk about it. It's good. I've done big TV shows and talk shows and stuff. And because there's so many people sitting at home going, I'm crazy, or I'm insane, or I'm evil, or I'm of the devil. And they're not. They're not. They've just experienced this thing that's out there.
I always say celebrate, don't celibate. That's the difference between us and them.
Keep the R.
Beltane's coming up.
You betcha.
It's right around the corner. I was on one of the new pages today, and it came up again. Marta went to high school right up the street at Immaculate
Really?
Heart.
Wow.
For middle school and high school.
Wow.
And it's a Catholic school, for those of you that don't know. And we still get the newsletter to this day. And one day, this it's like a newspaper, and it shows up, and I open it up down at the mailbox, and I see these little Catholic schoolgirls and their little skirts and stuff, and they're dancing a maypole. And I went, what the hell is it? And I look, this is the only place that I've seen this in the entirety of the Catholic Church, mind you, and it's called Mary's Day. It happens on May 1st, and it's a celebration of women. And that's great. I applaud the rest of the Catholic Church, should do this. I applaud them. But none of the other Catholic churches doing Mary's Day, and they're not doing it on May 1st. And it's not a celebration of women. But the imagery of the Catholic schoolgirls dancing around God's penis on May 1st just does it for me. It's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. And a lot of people have, a lot of pagans have a lot of issues with the Catholic Church, and I have this different one that I always like to say every time that it comes up. So I would personally like to thank the Catholic Church for providing my ancestors a convenient place to hide while they were out in the world hunting them. And furthermore, for making gods and goddesses, mostly gods and a couple goddesses into saints, and then sticking them in the church to make it even easier. But then, now when I see Beltane was the only holiday that the Catholic Church hadn't stolen. And then I see that thing, so, it warms my heart. It warms my heart. You see Catholics out there getting some in the name of Beltane.
Yeah, well,
More
that
power to
particular
you.
sect of nuns were they were wild and great. You probably know more than I do, but I was up at the castle that they owned that Katy Perry just bought.
Yeah.
And they're trying to keep all the nuns, but they were 90-something years old, and they were beautiful. They were amazing. They were not like regular Catholics at all. Not that there's anything wrong with regular Catholics, but again, they dance the maypole.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. But
no, but it was awesome. I remember my first maypole. I guess I was practicing already, but there used to be a really cool nudist place here in LA called Elysium Fields in Topanga Canyon. One of the few really new. It was great, and I was there on Beltane. And first I'm thinking, I'm going to my first nudist place. How sexy and fabulous and weird. Absolutely opposite. It was grandmas and children. And
yes. That's my first nudist colony too.
But they did the maple, and I'm like, okay, I do love these people. This is not what I was expecting. I was like a bunch of Playboy bunnies and dudes.
My first was a pagan gathering at Hot Springs. I think it got burned down. Ancient ways. I think it was Harbin. I think it was Harbin. Yeah, I think it got burned down one year. But it was one of the few outdoor pagan festivals that I went to, and it's like, it's a nudist, clothing optional, and there's a hot spring. The hot springs was a pool.
No.
It wasn't what I pictured at all. I pictured, rocks.
Some hole in the
hole in the ground and steam coming up. No, it was a pool with a hot spring underneath it and a bunch of shrivelly old men and women of large capacity. The priestesses of Willendorf were all there. But okay, so you asked about what was the word?
With the Sleeping with Ghosts.
Spectrophilia.
Yeah.
Spectrophilia.
Yeah, I
That's
kept very
the
little
word.
in that because again, this book is a simple book for muggles, not for practicing
And-
pagans, witches. It isn't. So I very little.
I want to interject right there. She
Okay.
says that I'm really good at skimming.
Okay, he skims
I
well.
have this way with magical books. I can
Okay.
pick up the gist in a
Like
couple seconds.
bibliomancy,
So,
yeah.
so I want to go to Kathy's Patty here keeps trying to play down her book and say it's for muggles, and then I just read through the uncrossing really quickly, and I want to read it to you really quick. Every once in a while you need a good uncrossing spell. Surprisingly, 99.9% of the time it's not because somebody put a real curse on you, rather, but it's just because you have a gathering of negative energy, thoughts and wishes that have swirled around you and created the energy that you want to get rid of. I do not do or recommend any type of dark manipulative magic. The cost is too high. Kickback in karmic realms. So when you do this spell, make sure you do not do this spell at a specific person, just as the curse or dark energy itself will work into whomever or whatever it is supposed to. Now, I'm just going to read just a little part of this because
Okay.
I want to just show you how classic it is. You need a lemon, some sea salt, a knife, a saucer. You can use a black or dark saucer if you have one, but it's not required. A saucer will do them. Let me pause. Now I know how many of my students are out there, and I know that the listeners of Wittershins, not muggles of any kind, you know of what old school of which I just spoke. That's in those components are in 1,000 spells. It's old school. Okay, it will work for muggles, but that's not muggle magic. That's classics. That's classics right there. Don't downplay it. Don't downplay your
Muggle
stuff.
magic, but it's
okay.
a book for muggles.
It's a book for
Understand.
muggles, but the techniques.
Oh yes,
The technique, I will say right away, those are valid. Cut the lemon in 4 pieces while chanting 3 times. 4 and 3. Classic. All the spells against me congregate within this lemon. That's your fate. Sour spell to sour fruit, you must go. That's 'cause that's your suit. Bound to this lemon evermore. Each spell against me, that's your store. All this lemon now I see, and so it is, so mote it be. And I like that better than as I will. So mote it be. As I will kind of says something that's not really happening. So it is means something that has taken place, which is where we want to bring it down to with so mote it be. So I just want to read that part because I skimmed through that. And that was, classic. But here, let me finish the spell, just in case you don't have the book. Put the 4 slices in the saucer, pulp up. Keep chanting, feel it, then sprinkle the salt over the lemons. Sprinkle it thick everywhere, bottom and top chant. Uncrossed, the salt for me breaks up attacking energy. Within this sour lemon bound now kills all spells with salt and sound. As lemon dries in salt and air, I'm free from harm and all despair. Uncrossed, and happy now. You'll see, and as I will, so mote it be. Now, let me pause again, kids, because uncrossed, okay, but first of all, most of my students out there are going, wow, she's totally following the Dr. Seuss formula, which Uncle Birch recommends in all of his work. But furthermore, she has gone through great strains to remove the negative terms from the statement of intent. And that's the hardest thing to do. And let's see, where was I? Free from harm. Now, other people that don't know how to do magic will say, and not cause any harm. The subconscious magical mind does not recognize negatives, neither, nor, all that shit. So that wouldn't work. Not would be deleted from the statement. So free from harm. That's textbook Uncle Birch's method right there. Free from harm is the way to do. I often say the Wiccan Rede is flawed in its statement of intent magic because and ye harm none. Do what and it harm none. Do what you will. None gets deleted by the magical mind because it recognizes no negatives. You need to say free from harm. Patti got it. Do you see that? You can't see that. Patti got it in the book there. That's old school. So it will work for muggles, but not written as a muggle for sure. Right. Keep chanting several times and feel it. Now set the lemon aside. When the lemon dries up, burn it or bury it. If by chance it mildews, you need to do the work spell again. This is very powerful and it works. So remember, magic is everywhere. For more info, please go to www.pattinegri.com. And I know you've done a similar spell. It was at our windowsill for a great many years.
Lemons? Yes.
With the lemons. Lemons is a classic.
Lemons is classic.
But the lemons is a classic, and your technique is classic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I love having Uncle Birch's seal of approval. That's pretty awesome. I'm blushing.
Well, let me tell you, it's not just because you're sitting across the table from me. Uncle Birch's seal of approval, not easy to get. I am known for talking shit and having a chip on my shoulder with regard to magic and a certain amount of arrogance that pisses a lot of people off on all the noob pages. So if I had something bad to say, I might not say it right now on the air, but it's
say it later. Next week, tune in.
The show must go on. But no.
Sucky chapters.
But so I believe in bibliomancy. That's where I skimmed to in the book. I skimmed a few sections really quick because the first time I actually saw the book, and I like what I saw. It takes me a very short amount of time to pick up magic from a book. I don't have to read the whole thing. It's like if it's witchcraft, I'm going to get it. If it's magic, I'm going to get it. If it's not a system that I know, if I just look at it, that's just that I'm a one-trick pony with a bunch of tracks to run on. But those are and luckily, I live in a world that changed to offer that to me. But back to Patti and her book. Let's see. So, book just came out. We talked about Ghost Adventures.
A couple days ago.
So you're still doing Ghost Adventures, right?
I am. I'm still doing Ghost Adventures.
Are you on every time, or whenever they call you?
No, not even close to every time. Whenever they call me, which is a few times a season.
That's cool.
And I don't know how long a season. I don't know what is a TV season anymore. 3 episodes, 15.
It used to be they get shorter.
It's weird.
If I get 13, I feel fortunate.
Yeah.
Like American Horror Story. Yeah. If they actually go all the way to 14.
Like 9 last time.
Yeah. Last time I think it was like 9. But it used to be like 13 used to be the number. And I thought, oh, cool. They're doing that for us.
No.
Yeah, they're starting it around Samhain, and they're doing 13. No. Not so much anymore. Not ever since American Horror Story Coven, I guess.
Shorter and shorter.
Sure. But, well, that's probably good, because Patti's pretty busy, because I got to say, our neighbor and friend Patti, man, she spends a lot of time on the red carpet. My God. I've only been on her friends list for like a couple weeks now, and damn, how do you have any free time, woman?
I don't. Free time, I always say I'll rest when I'm dead, but I don't think that's going to be true at all. No.
Yeah, you'll probably be just as busy.
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, it seems like I see a lot of new people in the chat room, probably people that Patti shared it on her page, but the chat room is hopping.
Yay.
So if you ain't in the chat room, oh my God, we have an hour and it took no breaks yet. If you aren't in the chat room, you need to get in the chat room. Now, I don't know, we're on iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Tumblr, Spreaker, YouTube, and several other places I don't even know. I don't even check our hits on there. So I don't know how it works on there. But over here, the show originates at Spreaker.com/user/Widdershins. And the show airs every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You need to follow us, because the nature of Spreaker and our large package that we have here at Widdershins is like, we can broadcast 3 hours per day, unlimited times per day. Meaning, if we wanted to go 24, we could. We just have to reboot every 3. We did that one day just to test it, just to test our package. We went 9 hours one time just to see if we had enough material and if we could do that. And yeah, sure enough. So Widdershins has been known to come on the air randomly when there's something newsworthy happening in the world, something we feel we need to rant about in the world. And occasionally, just if we're bored with nothing to do, we'll just throw a show together. But you won't know if you don't follow. If you don't get it, Spreaker.com/user/Widdershins and follow us, you won't know. You won't know when we're going to come on the air. You won't know when we're on there. You won't know. So follow. Follow. We also got the Widdershins Facebook page, relatively new, but it's at Widdershins Radio. You can email us at widdershinsradio@gmail.com. You want something plugged on the show, you want to buy a commercial and pay us a whole bunch of money. You want to suggest a guest for the show, widdershinsradio@gmail.com. We're going to take us a quick musical break and be back with Patti Negri and the Clan. Negri. God,
Negri.
I had it better before I asked how to pronounce it. Now I keep fucking it up. Say it again.
Negri.
Negri. See, that's how I was saying it before. And the clown to the right of me, Marta.
Yeah.
Just a minute. And Stellar Corpses from back in our hometown of Santa Cruz, but are now
my hometown is here,
but are now. Well, my hometown is Long Beach, so you want to quibble? I'm trying to do an intro, woman. God,
the singer lives down the street from
don't
here.
fuck with me. Well, that's where I was gonna go.
Okay, go.
I was trying to say from our hometown of Santa Cruz, but now kind of in Hollywood too.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they'll be dude will be at the Viper Room.
Yeah.
Playing an acoustic set.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stellar Corpses will be.
It's cute, small, and it smells just American Jesus, overwhelming millions every day. He's the farmer's man fields, the books the army wields, expressions on the faces of the starting millions, the power of the plan, the few that drives the clan. He's the motive and the conscience of the murderer. He's a preacher on TV, the false sincerity, the formula that's written by the big computers and nuclear bombs, the kids with no moms, and I'm fearful that he's inside me. Yeah, we've got the American Jesus, see him on the interstate. We've got the American Jesus, exercising his authority. We've got the American Jesus, bolstering national faith. We've got the American Jesus, overwhelming millions every day. Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell we played. I think we got Bad Religion, The Misfits, and Stellar Corpses before that. Thank you, clown to the right of me. Oh yeah, I got to tell you about Hexfest, right? August 9th to the 11th, 2019, Hexfest. A weekend of witchery in old New Orleans. When we're going to go to New Orleans in August, probably die from the heat. I just can't imagine what this would be like. But we're going to join in the magic. Join in the magic. Tales of the magic of the Crescent City of New Orleans stretch back over the centuries. It's an enigmatic place where voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft, and even Christianity blend at the crossroads of spiritual power. On August 9th to the 11th, 2019, Brian Kane, Christian Day, and the Witches of New Orleans present Hexfest, a weekend of witchery held at the heart of the historic French Quarter. The conference opens with a riverboat ritual and dinner held on an authentic steamboat on the Mississippi River, followed by 2 full days of workshops, drumming, and ritual at the Bourbon's Orleans Hotel, a venue riddled with a history of hauntings. Hexfest has gathered witches, root workers, voodoo priests, and other magical teachers from New Orleans and around the world to offer their time-honored wisdom. Between workshops, attendees will love the magical shopping in our on-site vending hall, where you can purchase powerful ritual tools, spell crafts, and signed books, exquisite jewelry, and spellcrafts handmade by true practitioners. Clear up a lung for this part, kids. Take a deep breath, because the lineup's huge. Presenters for the 2019 Hexfest hail from across the spectrum of witchcraft and magic and include Brian Kane, Christian Day, Austin Shippey, Brian Ballard, Carrie O'Crow, Christine Stephens, Dorothy Morrison, the Dragon Ritual Drummers, Fiona Horn, Hoodoo Sen Moise, Lady Rhea, Laura Tempest Zaycroft, Michael Carell, who the fuck is that guy? Melissa Mayhem, Patricia Telesco, Rosemary Ellen Gilly, Sally Ann Glassman, Sandra Maria Wright, Sen Elias, Sorita Deste, Star Cassis, Star Ravenhawk, Witch Doctor Utu, and Yeshe Matthews. Let's see if they fix this part that Marta has edited for them like 5 times now. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced practitioner, Hexfest will help you discover of the secrets. Okay, Hexfest will help you discover the secrets of witchcraft and expand your mastery of the magical arts. You cannot click here to register. You must go to hexfest.com. Yeah.
Yes, please.
And get your tickets now while they're hot. This thing's going to sell out. All of our people are going to be there because they know we may not survive New Orleans. It's so fucking hot. It may be our first time, and it may be our last time. Who knows when they're going to have Uncle Birch there again? I got one of my clients that thinks it's too expensive to ship things to Canada and wants me to bring their order with them in my suitcase. I'm going to do that. You can ask me to do that. It's going to be quite a thing.
Don't say that.
No, I don't want.
There's
That's too many things, too much stuff. But I'm just kind of having a fun time picturing her trying to get those things on a plane and back to Canada. Some of the things she ordered, but welcome back to Widdershins, radio for your spiritual side. A twisted approach to the left-hand path. We're here with Patti Negri. Yes! Said it right. Let's see. Hollywood witch, psychic, medium, author. What else do you do?
Wiener Wrangler.
Wiener Wrangler.
Professional Wiener Wrangler.
So many titles. And,
Wiener dogs.
And our neighbor. She does.
You have a wiener
She
dog?
does wiener. Oh, she has a wiener dog.
I run the Wiener Nationals. That's why my dog has raced for 14 years.
I love
On the seven
wiener western
states for
we
Wiener
went
Nationals.
to
Patty
get a
runs
wiener dog
the
and
Wiener
ended up with
Nationals.
Our dog.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
wanted a wiener dog. We brought him home.
Well, get both.
It happens.
Add a Wiener dog to the mix.
Right.
Well, I think we'd agreed to something up to medium.
But I went to get a dog.
But then this big old. I mean, it's Marta's fault. She fell in love with our dog on the internet before we even got there, and was communicating psychically with him.
Yep.
And so it was already formed. But great dog. But anyway, Patti
Yes.
has her new book,
My dog and
Old World Magic for the Modern World.
So you.
Tips, tricks, and techniques to balance, empower, and create a life you love. And I've been flipping through it, and I'm liking what I read. So let's see. I was gonna. Hey, it's signed. Ours is signed. To Marta and Michael, keep magic alive. XO Patti. Very nice. Very nice. Let's see.
With a picture of
So you
ours
already
that
asked
I
about. You already asked about the spirit thing, whatever the word is, was
The
spirit.
ghost sex.
The ghost sex thing. Of course, she's gonna ask about that. Let's see. Bathroom magic. Tell us about bathroom magic.
Well, no, it's just simple. We know that's a place. I mean, what better a water cauldron than the toilet? You know, when
Yeah.
you think about it, it's water. It's a water element. You got stuff to get rid of. Just a pinch of salt in the bathroom. You know, if you want to put some sigils on your soap or draw them on your, on a Sharpie.
Sigils on
I
soap?
never thought about
Yes.
that. Sigils on soap.
It's not
Sigils on
on
soap.
soap and
That's
use not
awesome.
just. It's a
Yeah.
money bath, not
Yeah.
a regular bath or a love bath.
Yeah.
And if you use liquid soap, put them. Draw it with a Sharpie on the outside of your shampoo or your cream rinse or your liquid soap. It's magic, easy magic.
Yeah.
I'm about easy magic.
Me too. Me too. That's the soap idea is brilliant. I'm gonna do that.
Well, we're looking at the section on protection. And I just noticed when I was downstairs that I thought Marta was going to be mad at me because I left this sitting next to the beer on the counter.
Helma Voss sigil.
Yeah, I make that on a candle. And I have the
favorite.
I have the printout downstairs. I was just downstairs in the kitchen. And I saw that. I said, "Oh man, Marta's going to be mad at me for
No.
leaving that here."
Okay, you're gonna
Did you throw it away? Did you throw it away?
I told you, don't leave the crap around or throw it away.
That's okay. That's okay. I have it as a PDF.
Okay.
I can print it up again. That's one
When
of
I saw it, I'm like, I told
one of my
you
more
when I
popular
threw it.
candles. So right away. So I'm flipping through Patti's section on my favorite items of tools, protection tools and techniques. And right away you've got the Helm of Awe sigil, which, if you don't know what that is and you're not Googling it right now, I don't want to know you. Google is your friend. Figure this stuff out. But it's a extremely common and very powerful little symbol. Palo Santo. God, I don't know if I'm out of stock on Palo Santo. We had a bunch of it.
I'm not a big
it's
sage
great
girl.
stuff. Well, sage. God, don't get me started. I'm on all these noob sites, like Beginners Wicca, Beginners Witchcraft, all this. I get on these sites because I took like 2 years off from teaching my year-in-a-day courses, and I just started doing it again. And to stay in practice, I get on all these noob sites and look at really stupid questions all day.
Yeah,
and
that's
some of them are
smart.
some really stupid questions. And the thing about smudging is just the most common. First, they use the word smudge, and to me, if you use the word smudge, you mean sage.
Right.
Sage is, it's maybe cedar with your sage, but smudging means sage and a couple other things.
Right.
It's a Native American ceremony, and the most common is the white sage, and from my read, I view white sage as more invoking than banishing. Here's my reasoning. What I read, typical Native American ceremony, the white sage is used to create the proper energy for the Great Spirit to enter. So to me, that's an invoking. And then every day, people are like, get rid of spirits, getting rid of. This one always gets me. Negative energy. That one irks me. The word should be negativity, but I'll go into that another time. But it's to make spirits come. It's not to get. White sage was never to get rid of things. Desert sage, mountain sage, sagebrush for the Native Americans was, to me, banishing. And white sage I saw as for bringing things in, but everybody smudges with white sage to get rid of ghosts and get rid of negativity and all this. And they always wonder why it gets worse. It's like, here's the wrong stuff.
And I always think too, besides, even if they're using the right stuff, it's a little harsh. It gets rid of everything. If you don't know what you're doing, which most people don't, it gets rid of the good, the bad. It almost creates a vacuum. It's like dusting your house and then leaving the doors and windows open in a sandstorm. So you're going to call the same thing something different or something worse if you are getting rid of even the right sage. It's just too. You got to refill it. You got to fucking fill it.
Yes. Liking you more and more, Patty. You're hitting on one of my peeves that I find myself the only person saying these days. And I have this video, and it's called When You Banish, You Must Invoke. Yeah. And that was a standard practice when I was a kid. All witches knew that. We are operating on the laws of nature. Nature abhors a vacuum. Mm-hmm. We cannot take something away without putting something there, or nature will put back what she had there. And
with a vengeance.
With a vengeance. And sometimes I wonder, it's like, did everybody forget that? Or are there some unscrupulous workers out there selling cleansings, knowing that they'll be able to sell another cleansing in a month?
Oh, conspiracy theory! I like it.
And I think there's some of that. It's like, I'll remove your curse, and I'll put nothing there, and in a month you'll be back to have me remove your curse. If you say, well, the curse was gone, I must have cursed myself again or something, but it was definitely gone, and now it's back, and now I'll have to pay that guy again and again and again and again. I believe in doing good work. I don't call myself a good witch. I will do bad when I have to do bad, but it will be good when I do bad. It will usually be in defense.
But I simplify.
But do good things. You will get more clients. If you're out there doing magic for people, you don't need to screw people over like that. Like that one right there, that was a no-brainer. That's the laws of physics. That's the laws of nature. And one of the first laws of magic that I learned, for everything that is taken, something must be given. Now, I originally learned this in herbal magic, and then it applies to another magic, and another magic, and another. And those things that are magical laws do that. They apply to all of the magics. It's like, you can't just remove shit. You got to put shit back there. So take out the bad shit, put in money, happiness, whatever you want. Whatever the bad stuff was blocking you from, put that in there. And I thank you for hitting on that. That legitimizes you even more.
Wow.
Just because you said that. Because I find so many people don't fucking know that. And when I say that, I get in arguments. And I've gotten kicked off of pages for saying that. It's like, I'm sorry I said something you don't know. I'm sorry I said something your ancestors forgot how to. That was old school. Everybody knew that. But I have found that Patti and I have frequented some of the same places. Matter of fact, we went to the same college. I don't know what you were studying there, but I was studying cop shit. I was studying criminal justice at Long Beach City College.
Shit mostly. I was EMT. I was my nursing moments. Yeah.
My wife at the time was going through nursing school in Long Beach and became a nurse at St. Mary's. My ex-wife.
Right. No, my first husband and I, he worked ambulance. I worked emergency room.
Right. She was a nurse and I was a cop. How cliche was that, fucking shit? We're still witches.
And here we are. Yeah.
Still witches, but yeah. Let's see what the chat room. If anybody's got anything in the chat room. Oh, Patty's in the chat room talking all kinds of stuff. So, all right. So Patti will tell me if there's anything going on in the chat room because she's there. Hey, there you go.
I'm there. Yeah.
Okay. I don't see anything from those people. So yeah, a book club. I started off of Witterson's class. I think they're like 3 books in. I think they're reading. Which Dr. Utu was the first one.
I shared your information to them, so
thank you.
They'll be getting the book too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So those of you that are out there, I don't know how you find it. I think search for Witterson's book club. I think it's you can see it. It's not secret.
I always spell Witterson's wrong.
I saw that earlier today, but
I always do. It's like saying my last name incorrectly. I spell Witterson wrong. That and consciousness. I spelled that wrong too.
Well, most people don't even know what it means anymore.
Those are the only things you spelled wrong.
That I'm doing okay.
Hey, that's coming from a professional there. If there's anything, she's seen everything that's spelled
doubled up,
wrong.
But I can never remember what.
Witterson, banishing, what's it? Deosil.
Well, I know what it means. Deosil Witterson, Deosil Witterson.
But then what was it? I think Deosil is sunwise.
Yeah, and
Witterson's
star-wise.
Earthwise.
Or star-wise. I
heard that. That's good.
Yes, because the way the stars go, the way the sun goes. The adding and subtracting. Witterson's left hand, right hand.
Yeah, see, y'all thought you knew what the show meant. You don't know shit, man.
You just can't spell it.
It's Marta's idea. We were bored one day and said, we should start a podcast. I came up with something stupid, and Marta said,
it was 2 words.
Wittersons.
We needed 1 word.
Yes. But back in the day, there was one of the most volatile series of works on magic that I've ever seen was called Wittersons. It was called Wittersons, A Volatile Journal of Magic. So
is that why you say volatile?
That's
podcast?
why I said it's a volatile podcast of magic. I'm recognizing. That was the work that I saw with Wittersons. It was really, it was like some of those books you had to buy on your own. They were all leather bound, $150 a book, but it was just so well done and just such rich shit that you just didn't get anymore. I think I learned how to make the Damiana cordial. Probably one of the most powerful aphrodisiac alcohols I've seen. I've never made a cordial since then.
With Damiana plant?
Yes, definitely Damiana. It was like Damiana and Yohimbe and I think a little bit of cinnamon to heat it up. Oh, it was good. It was good shit. But that was way back in Santa Cruz, early on. But Witterson's A Volatile Journal of Magic. So, if you're just joining us, we're talking to Patti Negri. Yes. Old world magic for the modern world. I always like that. Now, I would have gone with OLDE, but that's just me. I always like to.
thought about
I always
that,
like to use
but
OLDE.
I already get enough
for
things about the
everything
K
I
on
can.
the magic.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Well, and that's where
I get enough
and
shit
that's
on
exactly where I was gonna go, because Patty here was she's kind of like trying to play down her book or something, saying it was like for Muggles or something like that. But then she used the MAGICK, and they wouldn't get that. Matter of fact, that's fading from the magical landscape. There's a whole article on. I think Matt Aaron did that on Pathos. Like, that used to be the thing. MAGICK was how you spelled magic to differentiate yourself from Hocus Pocus.
Rabbit out of a hat.
And rabbit out of a hat. And I think there's just so little rabbit out of the hat magic anymore that I guess we don't need
But
to
we
do
live
that.
because
I
we
mean,
live in Hollywood by the Magic Castle.
Right by the Magic
I know
Castle,
so many
I know.
magicians
I
who
know.
are rabbit out of the
I
hat
know.
and card tricks.
Yeah. Well,
And it's open to the public now, right?
No,
It's not?
but if you ever
Okay.
need to get in.
okay. Yeah, we know some people.
Yeah, we know people.
Yeah.
We know people. I worked for
Well-
Milt Larson, the founder of it. I worked at his club when he had downtown for 1,000,000 years, 2 shows a night. So he owes me $1 million. So we can get it.
Well, I've often thought the song that I used to use when we would do the beach rituals in Santa Cruz to invoke the elements, Behold.
Yeah.
Behold, there's magic all around. Abigail's Spinner, which I think I think I have it on the computer version of Wittershins. I don't think we have it on the phone version. But it was Abigail Spinner and Lord Pan, I think, that did the album. But Lord Pan was a magician. Hocus Pocus, rabbit out of the hat. Okay, she's a witch. He's a magician in Las Vegas. Somehow they made that work. It worked well. There's a certain amount of theatrics that has to happen. I remember. Actually, it was during the Los Angeles riots back here in LA, and I was a police officer that happened to have vacation time because it was Beltane, and it was my job to perform the ritual for about 300 people from the Eye of the Cat in the Angeles National Forest, right behind us here somewhere. One of the things that I remember incorporating into that ritual for invoking fire, it was the entire ritual was done with music and theatrics, and it was like a play. The whole fucking thing. There was like 36 performers, costumes, pyrotechnics, you name it. But one of the things that I found there that I really encourage anybody to use in magic, if you can find a magic shop, a magician's, Hocus Pocus shop, they have this stuff called flash paper. Fucking flash paper is the coolest shit. And it's like, you light these papers and you throw them up in the air. It's like a little ball of flame that burns out before it reaches the ground. It just turns into ash in mid-air. And I used that for invoking fire in this ritual during the Los Angeles riots. And then later I said, well, it's paper. Wouldn't that be a cool thing to write petitions on? Whoa. And that was just, seeing your petition disappear into air in front of your eyes. Oh, powerful shit.
Can you still buy flash paper?
I think you can.
I thought, because there used to be a great magic shop in Hollywood. Then they took one into Hollywood Toys, but I thought that maybe it's changed that you couldn't, unless you were a legitimate magician of the old school sense. I mean, the habit. But I used to buy it. I
got
love
it about 5 years ago. I got it online somewhere.
Really? Okay,
it's
I want to
still
get
somewhere
some.
out there.
I love it for petitions.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's just there's maybe there's stuff that they can use from witchcraft. There probably is, but there is stuff. There's a stage thing that happens as a priest, being up in front of the congregation and leading rituals for years. Like, the stage presence is a thing. I've always recommended to all of my up and coming people, man, take some drama classes, man. Mm-hmm. Take some stage classes, man. Learn some Shakespeare and shit. It's necessary. It's necessary to just evoke the kind of emotion in the people seeing the ritual that you need to invoke. It's not, I'm not saying that you just pull rabbits out of your hat and shit, but stage presence is a thing.
I agree 100%.
Charisma's a thing. Not everybody can do that kind of thing. Not everybody, and that's always my problem with like Wicca, and the way Wicca went. It's like everybody should be a priest. Everybody should be a priest. No,
they can't. Not everybody
can do that. No, and I come from that as a lifelong anarchist that disagrees with leaders and that everybody should. But no, everybody's not a leader. Some people are followers, and
I agree,
that's okay.
And that's okay.
And
Somebody's got to follow.
Yeah, but somebody got to be up there, and you need certain skills to be up there.
Right, you do. I use a lot of Shakespeare actually in some of my rituals.
Yeah.
Just because it's his words. If you take them from the right, black spirits and white, red spirits and gray, mingle, mingle, mingle. Who may tout, around and about.
That one, tout,
and a world without.
I mean, that's closet. I mean, that is. There are some people that say tout around and about is their traditional method for flying on a besom. Mm-hmm. But it's Shakespeare. Mm-hmm. Science now recognizes that sniffing rosemary boosts your memory up to 70%. Well,
really? I didn't know that.
That's Shakespeare, too. I mean, it's before Shakespeare. Yeah, here's some right here. But that, probably the place where most people know about that is, that's Hamlet. Rosemary for Remembrance. What's her name? Ophelia? Ophelia says that shortly before she drowns herself. But
I missed that one about rosemary. I'm going to go and sniff.
Oh my God. Oh, rosemary's a classic.
Coffee and it tastes really good that way.
Well,
you drink
see,
coffee.
in that college where we both went to.
Yes.
I was taking these cop classes, and I had a problem with studying. So I consecrated a silver coin. I sat in the back of the class, and I flipped my coin through, multiple choice, true, false, what have you. But then the other thing, I used to do rosemary tea, and one day I was in a hurry to get to class for a final. I just grabbed a bunch of rosemary and threw it on top of the coffee filter and brewed a pot of coffee. Now, rosemary for remembrance is a thing.
Wow.
Rosemary combined with a stimulant.
Ooh.
So you want to really remember some shit, but check with your doctor. Make sure you don't have any kidney problems, and don't use rosemary tea more than twice a week. It can cause kidney problems and other problems, but rosemary, for sniffing it, you're fine. Take a pile of rosemary, throw it in your damn pillow, you're good to go. The smelling of it. I'm a ham radio operator from way back, and I passed my Morse code test because I took rosemary essential oil and put it. Back then I was a cop, right? Remember? So I had a mustache, right? We all did. So I put rosemary oil in my mustache, and then every time I inhaled,
mustache?
yeah, baby, I destroyed all the pictures. Because after I was a cop,
they're coming back, babe.
Yep.
after I was a cop, I was an activist and an anarchist, and if they ever had found out that I was a cop, it would have been a problem. So I destroyed all those pictures. But I put rosemary oil in my mustache before the Morse code. And I knew that shit.
Dot, dash,
I learned.
dash,
I passed the test. I never used Morse code again in my life. I can do SOS, but
I was on a
remembered enough
paranormal
for that.
investigation once, though, and the
Ghost
flashlight
event?
was a ghost in it, probably like a worldwide. It was at Ripley's, believe it or not. My friend Corey Dacey, who's a paranormal investigator, he's a manager at Ripley's. He was doing a thing. This was the one I was on, but the buffalo. It was whatever dot dash flash.
Yeah,
it was doing SOS, and
Oh, my
you
God.
have to know it to recognize it. But the ghost knew it.
Yeah. Well, so the cop job, I was a Court of Long Beach cop, and so we got special privileges to go upon the Queen Mary in the middle of the night,
yeah.
behind the scenes, and so we went behind the scenes of the ghost tour one night about 3 in the fucking morning. Okay, and I'm getting paid. and pay like $20 an hour or whatever to go back there. And there was a behind the walls of this thing. And it wasn't, SOS would have been easy. A lot of kids know SOS was help me. Help me.
Wow,
Help me.
goosebumps.
And the legend was that there were people that had got sealed. There's several layers of the ship to keep it so if this one gets punctured and fills with water, it won't sink the ship. There's 3 layers. People, the story is people got sealed, got like welded into the first layer.
Wow.
And the ship was done, and they couldn't unweld them, and they died in there. I mean, that's the story. But we got to go. That's the most haunted goddamn shit. There's
It is so haunted.
Have you been there?
I have.
So the pool.
The pool.
The
I've
pool,
talked to
my
the little
God.
girl there. I did.
The little girl. I met the little
I
girl.
saw.
Okay, I don't
I
do
grew
medium shit, but I met the little girl.
I met the little. I did. My high school. I grew up right where you grew up. My high school prom was always on the Queen Mary, and at the olden days, a long time ago, when I was in high school, you could sneak in there by the pool.
I think it was about the same time as me.
And
You're
right,
not
right,
that
yeah.
old.
No, that's young now, right? It's all relative. But no, I went on one recently but we got an after hours thing privately, and that place is crazy. And if anybody wants to go to the Queen Mary, go where the hotel is, and when the maids are cleaning up after people, the maids have the good stories.
Yeah.
And they'll let you peek in the room, not when somebody's in, but when they've checked out. It's pretty amazing.
You see, so I was a cop, so I got to get the security guys. You know, but we would tell them we were looking for something. The security guys would take us down into the bowels of the ship and below the knives, that place where nobody got to go. And yeah, that shit was haunted. Uncle Birch was the fuzz. Yikes. What, Utu? You didn't know that?
What?
Come on, Utu.
Utu didn't know you were
You're like my bro, man. You've been following this show forever. You never knew I was the fuzz. Yes, but Utu, I gotta say, I was still an anarchist. As a lifelong anarchist, I managed to land a job as a cop. That's another story for another day. Matter of fact,
Because he's a good witch.
yes, go back to War Stories with Uncle Birch. It's a 2-parter. You'll hear about the pirate radio days and all those days and how I taught the cop watch people. But that's different days. But the Utu, God, catch up, man. I thought you were paying attention, bro. Let me play us a song, and wow, we got to plug a whole bunch of stuff, and we're getting towards the end of the show here.
Yeah, what time is it?
It's 6:45, dude. All right, let's play something. God, I forgot I put all that stuff in there. Spellbound should be good. Wintershins, we'll be right back.
From the cradle bars comes a beckoning voice that sends you spinning. You have no choice. You hear laughter cracking through the walls, it sends you spinning. You have no choice. You hear laughter.
teenager, these kids with 100,000 million people shit,
Correct.
and you get freaking event people.
Exactly. Well, Susie and the Banshees. We're at 6:48. The show flying by.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Old world magic with a CK, y'all. For the modern world. Tips, tricks, and techniques to balance and empower and create your life. We'll put the link up on the Widdershins page. I think we already put the link up there. We'll put it again. But it's available at Amazon. And it's a bestseller already. Look at that thing.
Yeah, crazy.
2019 just came out a couple days ago. Already a bestseller on Amazon. You got to check that out. Get in the Widdershins book club. I think they're doing right now. They're doing Utu's book, Conjuring Harriet or Mama. How do you say it? It's Harriet Tubman, but it's Mama Moses first. Mama Moses, Harriet Tubman, and the Underground Railroad. I know there's doing that one right now. And then
We're probably gonna do Darren's book
there's
next.
Darren's book. I keep wanting to call him Asbjorn. And he gave them his book for free, so that'll be pretty easy. And then I'll probably be checking this one out right now. This one, because we gave them the link for the $1.99 or whatever. Yeah, so it's a really good looking book. I flipped through it right here. I'm liking it. It may work for Muggles, but it's not.
Also
It's
for
not Muggle
non-Muggles.
magic. It's not much Muggle magic.
I know.
It's
It's
not
just
Muggle.
simple. I wanted it really easy because when I started out a billion years ago, I would look at all the magic books and I would be intimidated and overwhelmed, and then I would pick up a simple book like by Scott Cunningham, and I went, I can absorb this, and that's not that I wanted to copy what he did, but I wanted something like that I could read it easy, fast, and not be intimidated. And so
Cunningham was great for that. Yeah.
Yes, he was great for
He
that,
was,
and
the easiest
and that's
read.
where I start people.
Yeah.
And I go, and that's a starting point, but but that's
Well, I remember, my witch mom, Scott Cunningham and Judith Dufresne, they collaborated on their first couple works, and so I think she was even cited in one of his early books.
Really?
But their herb work, they had
That's
they
beautiful.
had the same research and the same, pretty much the same format. And I think she cited him in her work too. But the people that don't know, since we bring him up, it's like Scott Cunningham died because he couldn't afford insurance.
Really?
He died of hepatitis. And most people don't know that anymore. And, it's back like, late 80s.
late 80s.
That kind of thing. So it's like when people, when people have a problem with like universal health care, Obamacare, whatever hell you want to call it. It's like, one of our most famous people is like, it's done so much work for the craft. It's like he died of hepatitis because he could not afford health insurance in America in recent times.
Not okay.
Not okay. Yeah.
I got to meet him once at some pagan pride celebration
Yeah.
or something, one of those, and
I think I saw him once in
Yeah.
Back in the day. Well, all right. So Patty's book, and so when are you gonna be on? You gonna be on Ghost Adventures again?
I've got a Ghost
or-
Adventures coming up. We just shot in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm next going to be at Paracon in Virginia City.
Paracon. What's that?
Paracon Paranormal Convention.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Paranormal
speaking.
Convention.
I'm doing a thing. Then I'm going to go to Paramysticon, which is paranormal and witches. A bunch of Northern California witches from where you guys are from. I'm helping when there's summer solstice ritual. I'm doing a seance.
That's the one in Nevada City.
That's the one in Nevada City.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
doing
yeah.
a seance. I'm doing a gallery. I'm teaching a workshop, and I'm helping them. They're beautiful people. The Black Hat Society, which I didn't even know was a witch society. I'm like, how come I don't know any of them?
I don't even know if we met them when we were there.
There's one in LA too.
Yeah.
Who knew? I don't know.
I mean, we started Nevada County Pagans, which is still running on Facebook.
Yep.
Awesome.
But I don't think we ever met the Black Hat Society. But we did go to that thing at the Foundry.
Yeah, I forgot.
The
Was
mining,
it
we went to that last time it was there.
Was it a psychic fair?
Yeah, it was like a
or
psychic
a
fair.
crystal thing? I don't remember.
A little bit of all of those. Yeah, I think it was the same
but it was
event
there at
though.
the
It was around the same time we were there.
Cool. So yeah, I'm doing those things next. Then I'm going to something in Butte, Montana. Butte, Montana. I love the people. They brought me out once
Never
before.
been to Montana.
It's great. It's a mining town, ex-mining town. They brought me out at first to figure out why they were like the suicide capital of the world or of America. I figured it out the minute I got off the plane. It's the mines, it's the energy, it's the toxicity.
Good.
But the Chamber of Commerce is bringing me out now, so that's pretty cool. And I'm going to Saskatchewan, Canada, which is going to be cold by September.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
September in
Saskatchewan.
Canada. Wow.
Yeah, the cold part of Canada. And I'm an LA girl. Anything besides 75, I'm freezing. You know, it's like
Grass Valley was the coldest for me, man.
Also
One
the
winter
hottest.
in Grass Valley.
It's
Yeah,
really
it's the
hot
hottest
in
and the
summer
coldest.
and really cold in the
Yeah, I
winter.
don't do good either direction.
The only time I had snow fall on my head. Yeah.
Wow.
Me, I had some hail. We almost had snow right over here. This last winter.
That would've been
It was
crazy.
supposed
We got
to
some
almost
hail.
snow.
We got some hail a year or two ago. Yeah.
But who knows? You know, climate change. We'll be getting snow
Yeah,
here
we'll
in
be getting all
LA
sorts of weird
anytime now. And I mean, I remember when I moved from Long Beach to Santa Cruz, they had a tornado that went all the way down Long Beach Boulevard, all the way to Signal Hill, destroying shit. I mean, serious tornado.
Wait. A tornado in Long
A
Beach?
tornado in Long Beach went
Wow.
down Long Beach Boulevard to Signal Hill.
Wow.
Took out the police communications. This was right before I left. So the police up here had to use ours over here in the port. And that's how I knew about it. Because all of a sudden we had to mingle with the Long Beach PD on our channel because their channel had been knocked out because it literally just went straight up the boulevard all the way to Signal Hill.
Wow.
Literal tornado. And that's like, so that was 92? 92. I'm sure it's probably worse since then. I don't know. We
This,
get
this
tornadoes.
is our
we're not
communication
supposed to
right
have.
there, Mount Lee.
Yes. What is that?
Mount Lee, that's our
That's
communication
Mount Lee.
center. And there's
right.
underground things. You see the big Black Ops helicopters now and again, but that's
yeah.
the city of LA communication right there. Just above the Hollywood sign.
So, PattiNegri.com. Check it out. There's your book, links to all the stuff. You can find us at Spreaker.com/user/Wittershins and all over the damn place. I have a new year and a day course coming up any day now. I really got to get cracking on that. Opens Beltane Eve. All right, I took a year and a half off from teaching year and a day classes, and it just jumped in. So had one started in March, and the demand was so high, I had to start one again May 1st. So you want to check that out, get on my YouTube channel, Freakphil1309. That's FREAKPHIL, and the number's 1309. There's a video for that. Or you can go to gumroad.com/witchschool, which is, of course, WITCHSKEWL. Do not sign up for the year and a day course that's already there. My new course will open April 29th, 2019. And I will make an announcement for that. And there are people that, if you want to secure your space before that, you contact me at witchschool@gmail.com, WITCHSKEWL@gmail.com, and I'll secure your spot. But if you want to take your chances, April 29th, I open the class, and everybody that wants to sign up can sign up. And there's some arbitrary cutoff number, and I don't know what that number is. So take your chances. I'll put the announcement out there, but check it out. Gumroad.com/witchschool is where I'm doing most of my work. You can also find me at thesacredgrovestore.com. You can email us at wittershinsradio@gmail.com. You can find our Facebook page at @wittershinsradio. Do you have anything else?
I think that's it.
I think that's all our stuff. You got anything else?
No, you have
I
said
mean,
it
you're all over the place,
I-
but PattiNegri.com
We'll get
should
you
get
anywhere.
you
Anywhere.
all the stuff that you need. Patty,
Yes.
our neighbor,
Yes.
thank you for joining
You
us.
were the
That was a
coolest
hell
neighbors to move
of a
in.
show. You're
In
the
a
coolest
long
neighbor.
time.
No, you're the
you're
coolest
the
neighbor. No.
We met
No.
walking around
knew what world the witches were.
They're here. They're in the Dell. They're in the Dell.
Back in my day, when you saw somebody wearing a pentagram, you walked up, you said, "Nice pentagram," and you were friends from there on out until you found a reason not to be friends anymore. Patty had a gold pentagram. I had a silver pentagram. This is the way it should be, man. It's like, nice pentagram, Patty.
Yeah, thank you. Nice pentagram, Michael. And we haven't found that reason to not be friends yet.
No! In time. It's early. All right. Thank you for joining us at Wintersheds. We got like 1 minute. Thank you. It's been a pleasure serving you. And we're going to hear, I think we're going to close with Froggy Fresh.
Okay.
I think you agree? Clown to the left of me? Clown to the right of me?
Yeah.
Froggy Fresh 2012. Yeah, we back up in this. Y'all already know. Cause I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls. You know that I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls. I had to fight my whole life. I could beat you up even if you had 1,000 knives. Even if you had infinity knives, I would punch you up into the air like a kite. I bet you sleep with the night light, cause you're scared of the dark, cause you stink like a fart. Well, I light your fart on fire with my rounds. You think I won't? I do it all the time. I bet I got more money than Jay-Z. Compared to me, Jay-Z is lazy. Plus Beyonce thinks that I'm cute. It's okay, Beyonce, I think you're cute too. I made out with so many girls. Made out with every girl in the world. I might look small, but I'm not. I don't care if you're big, I'll fight you. Well, I do know that I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stats, I bet you that she calls. That I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls. I have 400 cars. I have 400 scars and 400 guitars. I have 400 houses. I have 400 mouses and 400 houses. Bet you I can dance better than you. I bet you don't know 2 plus 2. It's 4, it's 4. Now go and shut the door, cause nobody wants to see your face no more. I'm tough as nails, you're slower than a snail. I beat up every single person in jail. I dare you to try and punch me. My face is so hard you'll say, ouch, you crunched me. I fought 2 lions and 1. And I don't even carry a gun. But I never run. But I never run. But I never but I never run. You know that I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls. You know that I am the baddest of them all. If you ain't about money, then I don't mess with y'all. Y'all think I don't get girls, cause I ain't very tall. If she see my stacks, I bet you that she calls. Froggy Fresh. I already told you back up in this 2012 to infinity. Get out of here. Peace.